back here once again, Sway reporting live, one-on-one sit-downs, and like you guys are probably tired of me saying this, but at the beginning of every episode, I say every one of my guests are special, and we have a very, very, very special guest. Technically, this man is, you have to edge him in history, in my opinion, but we'll get to the history of this man and his life and what he has done and for himself and his community. I'm not even going to introduce him because the man needs no introduction. You see the face, but once again, please introduce yourself to the people, and just in case they don't know.
Dave ChaChing, Mr. Gimme 3, man. I'm here, man.
You're here.
I'm here.
Mr. Gimme 3 Cha-Ching. Yes, so first and foremost, I'll just say where I first met you at. I don't know if you remember, but it was OBL when it came to Brooklyn the first week, I think, where Leaky put on a show over there. Yes. I had dabbed you up right outside after everyone was leaving. I don't even know if you remember, but I've only been in the street game for 2 years. This is my second year really getting into things as a reporter, as an analyst, as a videographer, all those things. So the first question I want to start is, like, let's get that out the way. Cha-Ching, where is this coming from? Why have you taken on that mantra, that nickname, and where did it come from?
It came from a young lady who passed away, Chicken Murray.
Okay.
I wanted to do something different. I used to use like bang bang after every made basket or something like that, and when she passed, it kind of bothered me. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to make change for myself.
How long have you taken on this nickname?
Like 10 years. 10
years. And in these 10 years, have you been being one of the hottest MCs? Is this 10-year run right here? Is that where it started? Is this how long have you been doing this?
Yeah, 10 years. Maybe 11, but like the first year, like learning period, but like 10 for sure.
Okay.
10 with Cha-Ching.
10 with Cha-Ching. All right, bet. So first and foremost, where are you from? And like, what's your background? What were you doing growing up? Where were you from? What were you doing at age 10, 11? Like, what was passing your time?
Harlem. Well, we in Brooklyn, so I mean, I had my grandparents had a house right here on Schaefer, so it was like, when I tell people them stories, they don't really believe me, but yeah, I'm Brooklyn, Harlem, Bronx. It's like I got all
New York City.
Yeah.
In your blood.
Yeah.
Coursing through your veins.
Definitely.
So what was I know you for basketball. Were you a ball player growing up? Like, what was your sport? What did you gravitate towards when the things of whatever happening in the Brooklyn streets, the New York City streets at the time that I'm thinking?
Football really was our main sport. When I was in the Bronx, Hughes Ave, football was the sport for us. And when I moved to Harlem, all they did was pick up basketball, play ball. So I definitely had to gravitate towards the ball side. But
you played football in high school?
No, I played ball in high school.
Okay.
It's high school.
Okay. So let's get into when you started calling games, right? You're very animated. You're almost like a character, right?
Definitely.
So persona is a wrong word, right? Let's stick with character. Like, when did you start saying, okay, you guys are playing basketball, I'm liking what I'm seeing, let me get into this real quick. This is what I want to do. Like, how did you make that a thing?
Just started. I'm gonna be honest, man. Like me and my brother Ike, we should always say we gotta do something. Like, I gotta do something to get better. And like, I just was thinking about anything to get better, to be better. At that time, you just wanted to be like really be good at it. So I was just like doing anything to get better. But it's really simple, man. Just work hard. Work hard.
So like take me into that moment, like where you first decided I'm gonna sit out here and just like not on a big scale, maybe on a small scale, where it was just you and your homies playing ball and you just decided, all right, I'm gonna talk it out loud. Like, what was if you can remember, what was that first moment?
In the hood, in my block, Battlegrounds, we used to have our own tournaments. We have our own raps, T-shirts, and I wasn't even the guy really doing the mic. It was my man Tone Black really doing the mic.
Okay.
And I grabbed the mic a couple times, pause, and but
respect it.
we used to just kick it on the block, and then it started getting better. We had a team in Amsterdam Projects.
Mm-hmm.
That was like probably one of the best high school, college tournaments coming up. So pretty much everybody played in Amsterdam Projects before. And I went down there. My brother was like, "Yo, give him the mic," and the director was like, "We got somebody." And then by like halftime, they gave me like a half. And then I mean, I did what I did, and like they was like, "Yo, come back," and then that's it.
That was all she wrote.
Like all she wrote.
So what I want to talk about that role that you have though, because as an MC of a play-by-play announcer, whatever you want to call it, someone to gravitate, have everybody come, like just have everybody watch the entertainment, watch the show, because you're part of the show. Definitely. No matter what park you're in, no matter what tournament you call in, you're part of the show, because at the end of the day, you have to bring excitement to the game. That's not just the X's and O's, not just the highlight plays. What do you think your role is when you decide, okay, I'm gonna walk into this park and everybody knows I'm gonna grab the microphone? Like what's the role like when you have to play that role and exceeding it?
Simple, just make sure nobody get up. If I could keep people sitting for a couple hours, that's the best job. I did a good job. So my thing is like to make sure I got people full attention. And that's how I build it since day one. Just trying to keep the crowd engaged, trying to not lose focus of the crowd.
That's a hard thing, there's a lot going on in these crowds.
You see some of the footage. I'm dancing. I dance. I might sing. Anything I feel that's needed that day, because every day is a different task.
Indeed.
So just keep everybody engaged, man. That's all I like. Really, my biggest thing is just keep everybody engaged.
See, when it comes to you, I've seen you do your thing at about twice in Dyckman, right? That's where I know you've heard. That's your home. You make that known on a wider scale, right? So from my first impression, sadly, this is only the first time this is the one time I've seen him, guys, which was this past championship game, right? And I saw that atmosphere and I saw what was going on.
Yes.
And you as the way you care so much for the park and what it's supposed to be able to show to the people. Yeah. You showed a sign of you didn't want to stand for the crowd control or the lack thereof and things like that. I want to ask, as in like what was that day like where you was like, okay, like there's gonna be a lot of people out there.
Definitely.
This is not just a one-time thing in Dyckman. Like this has happened multiple times. There's pictures, drone footage,
every chip.
So like when it comes around playoff time, where okay, there's gonna be the people that's not always here are gonna be here. Yeah. Then there's gonna be the people that's always here, and then there's gonna be the people that bring the people that bring the people. Yeah. So what's it like? You wake up in the morning, it's like, okay, all right, first I got to think about what's my persona today. Then next, okay, how am I getting there? Okay, what's the mindset like going in? Like, what's your mindset like? Okay, I have to take the mantle and really almost put my foot down, but at the same time, I haven't seen another announcer do it. Like, do what you did that day. I'm not trying to put too much on that action, but I'm trying to see like where's your mindset of how prideful you are for how the game's supposed to be played.
I'm gonna be honest. I used to do them games, a lot of clear outs. I didn't, I had to turn from that. I love the crowds. Crowds is who I am. But like championship game is just it's nothing. And it don't matter what park or where we're at. It's just championship game is just a different energy.
Always.
And I've been doing these games so long. It's like sometimes I just want to just do a basketball game. I don't really want to do all the extra stuff. And championship games, that's people my mindset, and that's probably what people probably looked at me and saw. Like I'm just here I just want to do the championship game, get it over with, some over. But it's just Dyckman. It's just probably any other park that you wait into the championship game, last game of the summer. Mm-hmm. Everybody want to come out and support. So I look at it like it's two ways I really look at it. Mm-hmm. I look at it like it's still a win because we got everybody here, nobody getting hurt. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, I really want to turn this game up, and it's not allowing me to. So that's probably when you see me like that, if I get a little frustrated, and I get frustrated, I'm getting frustrated with myself. It's not more so
because you fighting with like, should I appease the people that I've been, or so should I stand on my
So I try to stand on like, nah, I want to play basketball.
And if we can't play basketball,
I could chill, sit on the side, because that's what everybody else. It's cool though. I like it, but I get down on myself because I know I could be better. So that's why I do it
on a bigger scale. Okay, so let's talk about the park, right? So Dyckman is where you've made your name known well, not really. It started at the Battlegrounds, as you said earlier, but Dyckman has really put on, and you've definitely put on for them in both ways. So can you talk about the culture you think your park has specifically? Because everyone has an identity, right? Zone 6 in Brooklyn, they're all about trench work, like trenches, like that feeling, right? So when you talk about Dyckman, we all hear the nicknames. I'll get to that later. But what do you think your culture is, and what do you provide to it?
That's a good question. Well, Dyckman is built inside of our projects.
Mm-hmm.
So automatically, you're going to have the Dyckman crowd. That's just one part of it. and then like, I have a crowd. I have a following. It's all about following. So I have a following. People are going to follow me to the Pacific Park, particularly Dyckman.
Mm-hmm.
And the teams have a following. So you got Brooklyn people playing, so they're going to have a following. So that's all it is, really, really about following. It's built inside of projects, man. It's real simple. It's a basketball court inside of projects, and the whole community look forward to Dyckman and summer basketball.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people can't go to the next game.
Facts.
They can't travel. So to see a pro or see their favorite basketball player come to Dyckman is like, it's like their Christmas.
Yeah, Streetball is a lot of people's NBA at this point.
Yes.
A lot of people's NBA. And one of the comparisons to Dyckman Park is the Dyckman Square Garden, the red carpet of Streetball, your ability to pull names, not just regular names, some of the big-time names in life, sports, general. Why do you think Dyckman, they've been around for 30-plus years? I think the number's like 34 or something like that, 35.
33, 44, something like that.
Yeah, like they've been around for decades. So why do you, from your perspective, why do you think Dyckman has such a appeal from the culture? Let's call it that.
It's community. When I first got up there, it's community. You could start a day with 300 people, 400, just all from the Dyckman area, the Dyckman community. So that's like half the battle. You put another 200-300 in there, another sellout every night. So it's like built in. It's just like home for people that's from there.
Mm-hmm.
So they could come out. It's easy for them, real easy. And like the difference from other parks is they don't have that. You gotta some you gotta travel to the park. The park might be 3 blocks, but the park is 100 feet, 100 yards.
Yeah,
come downstairs,
real small too.
So it's like that's the only difference. That's the only difference from 30 years to now. Is they start with the community. It's community based, and then you add in the other pieces. You add a team from here. They bring their crowd,
and now there's
like a big cookout.
Big cookout. There's a lot going on in that park. I won't even lie. From the Spanish made food to the drinks to the ices like it's a lot going on.
A lot of different avenues, and not for me. I mean, for the DJ, for the people that's selling the food, it's big opportunities. It's big opportunities, and they give you that kind of platform to come up there. You sell something. You selling whatever you selling, juices, drinks, food. That's your particular brand. Yeah. You just come in. It's like a big cookout. You bring a tray of food. I bring a tray of food. I bring drinks. You bring drinks. So it's like a big cookout. That's just how my overall picture is. It's like a big cookout.
There's a moment that happened in Dyckman playoffs this past year, including one of your fellow MCs, Rod Slime, Smooth Joe, and a couple fans on the baseline. I don't know if you've seen that video. It probably has. Yes,
viral
video. Another viral video from New York City Streetball. But talk about, I want to compare that to the grittiness that New York adds, and no matter the sport, but specifically basketball, where it's like we can touch you, even because the courts are so small, but we don't want to touch you, but we're just letting you know that we're here. Yeah. You're playing against guys right now, you up right now, so talk about that moment. Was that one of the bigger moments for Dyckman this year, or do you have a separate moment where it's like, okay, see that is the embodiment of New York City Streetball?
Anything with Rod Slime is like, but to answer your question, that's basketball. Basketball wins when we get moments like that. It was moments like that in Gersh. It was moments like that in Zone 6.
Yes, sir. Definitely.
So we all win. Like, like if you looking, we all win. But that particular moment, that's basketball. That's what we get up for. Competitive, no fighting, going back and forth. That's basketball for us. That's like the jungle. It's like the trenches, the backyards. That's basketball. So whether that incident happened in that park, Dyckman, Gersh, it happened in Zone 6, if it happened in Whitehead tournament, it don't matter. That's legendary. That's just basketball. That's what people get up for.
So in Streetball, there's the pro division and then there's the high school on respective genders, male and female. What do you think the waves have been recently in terms of the youth? Because people like to talk about the youth, but some people aren't about the youth. I think there's a difference there. What do you think you would have to do better, or just the community as a whole, in terms of putting more light on the youth, more cameras at the youth games, more everything at the youth game? What's your take on that?
Well, I think now, and shout out my man Visionary Ike. I don't really like giving him all that love, but he definitely a big part of how I move and how I've been for years. We always been about high school. I never liked pros. I still don't like the pros.
Can you expound on that as you answer?
Pros is too much.
Too much going on?
It's supposed to be an hour game. We there 2-3 hours. 2 hours and a half.
Yeah, we used that Whitehead game till midnight one day.
But it's different parts of that, which is cool. But high school, that's how I branded. That's how I became who I am today, and I never turn my back on it. Youth is always a part of me. I do a youth game before I do a pro game. I only do pro games because the kids grow up, they pros.
I like that answer.
I was with Whitehead when Whitehead was an All-American 9th, 10th grade in high school. So I building my brand as they building their brand. Now look at Whitehead. Run their own tournament, pro, grown man, family, father. So you see how long, like 10 years, 8 years, I'm watching these kids grow. So if they they got no choice to play the pros, that's why I do the games. But I prefer high school. High school, youth, it's just like, that gives me my drive. That's where I really being very creative at.
Where you come up with
come up with the designs. I'm coming up with the costumes. I'm coming up with the
the youth really bring that, like,
yes.
When you're the best ChaChing, okay, this will be my follow-up question then. When you're the best ChaChing is when you're with the youth,
yes.
The high school divisions.
Yes, because college pro easy. You see a pro that played in the NBA, his resume is easy to remember or
recite.
Recite. It's not hard. He played with the Knicks, he played with this team. That's easy. That's real easy. But for a high school kid, you don't particularly know what high school kid is going to be on that day. You got the high level ones, but you got the mid to high level ones.
That's trying to get that same.
It's trying to get the same, and then that's my urge. I get real excited. I came with my best costumes. My best events is high school events. So
speaking of events, you recently did Slam. Have you been doing that for the past few years?
Yeah.
You have seen some guys that we really watch on NBA TV right now.
Yes.
Like, you've called their high school game because they were that good to be invited to a Slam event and showcase their skills.
Yeah.
You really, like, guys like James Wiseman, Jonathan. I could just name. I've seen the footage and I hear his ChaChing in the background. What's it like seeing guys that you meet through basketball, but you see them turn into a different player? You see them evolve. You see them, more manhood. Like, what is it like seeing these things and then realizing, okay, wow, you're really here already? Like, does that make you feel old, or does that just put a smile on your face?
It puts a smile on my face, because every time I'm watching somebody on TV, like, oh yeah, I know him. Some people be looking at, like, all these people, but through basketball you learn and know people. You come cool with people, and just like I'm fans of theirs, they probably fans of mine. That's what make the basketball world so dope. And these kids coming from around the country, some kids in the city, but that's basketball. You watch it, you learn it. So it's like, it's good, man. Like, I sometimes I sit and be like, dang, I remember he played. Now he in his third year. He on the All-Star team and
trying to make.
And then when I do bump into some of these guys, I'm like, yo, remember that thing? They're like, yo, those was like one of my best events, and you know that's like a good feeling for me too. Just hearing my voice and
in a moment where it was one of their favorite moments.
Yeah.
And you made that call. How powerful do you get when making certain calls like that? The moment where you, because sometimes some guys they be selling in terms of plays,
yes,
stuff like that. So what do you like when in that moment where you have to you're like on 10 every time, because once you see a 1-4 flat, or once you see a little little pick and roll, or once you see a little on defense, like you okay, now you got to capture that moment. So how do you gauge to make a proper call, or like how do you do that on the fly?
Freelance. Freelance. If I say something once, I say it twice, and I think it's catchy to me, I could go run. I could be coming up and down the court, and I could hear somebody like, oh, like gravitate towards that. That's like another pickup line for me.
Just like that. It's so easy.
Just like that.
Okay.
It's like rappers. Some rappers don't write. They just go in the booth and get busy.
Yeah.
That's me. I don't rehearse. Like, I'm not gonna get up the morning of a big game and go, I am gonna go here. If they go baseline, nah.
All feel.
So
let's talk about the feel. Like, what do you like? How do you come up with your costumes? You've had some of the most iconic. You dress up as some of the most iconic people in the world.
If they not great, I don't even consider the costume. So every costume gotta have a backstory to it. Like I had Black Panther. It was fitting for Black Panther because I knew the movie was coming out.
Everybody gonna see it.
And everybody gonna see it. So it's different stages for different costumes. But all the costumes I use and even think about, it gotta be like goatish. Michael Jackson, gotta be like top tier guys. Prince, it gotta be top tier guys.
I remember I was gonna say Prince. Yeah, I remember that one.
It gotta be top tier. If it ain't top tier, I don't even consider it.
Okay, all right. So let's get down to some personal things. I'm trying to get the people to really know the man without even really knowing the man. So,
definitely.
So what's been your biggest hurdle in trying to pave your way in the streetball game, whether it's personal or political within the sport or the community?
The vets is really, it was really hard to get in because of the older announcers, and it was hard.
Do you think that is just attributed to the old school way of saying things or doing things, or just you're trying to do something different and they're used to one thing?
Nah, not really. It's they're entitled. That's the word I'm gonna use. They're entitled. I used to always say, like, I'm really better than everyone. But it's hard to display that if like a director or a tournament person running an event don't see that.
Not trying to give it up.
So they'll try to hold on to stuff that, like, it's time for the new generation. Like, in a couple years, it might be time. It might be somebody else. There's a few announcers trailing me.
Trailing you? Would you like to touch on that subject, sir?
Trailing me. Not trailing me. I usually look at all the announcers, we all being competitive. So we being competitive, that's my urge. Like, it's announcers right now really causing real problems.
Messing up the status quo. Yeah, that's a bad man. I'm not even gonna lie.
Spicy causing problems.
I haven't been able to hear too much of him, but people bring up his name a lot.
He's my right to my wrong.
I hear you guys call each other the Splash Bros.
Yeah, Dark Skin Splash Bros.
I like that name. I like it. It's a good one.
Real fan. And what's cool about it, we don't step on each other's toes. And not just because I'm in Brooklyn saying Rod Slime, but Rod Slime is real dangerous. He don't even know he's that dangerous. Because he's running a tournament. He don't have what, like, the avenue I have. I'm just straight host, MC host. I don't got those. I'm not sitting in the boardroom. He's trying to put schedules together. That's too much for me. I'm just trying to go out there, put on. So he have different. Slime is really a different entity because he's running his own tournament. So it's hard. Like, you got the other ones in Brooklyn. Everybody calls in, but I look at everybody as competition still because I'm a competitor.
I like the way you say that, because I feel like sometimes, I'm not saying people can't give their flowers or their love, but at the same time, everyone is prideful in their own way to be the best at what you want to be. So how can you be great if you can't acknowledge the fact that, okay, I know these guys is here, but I feel like I'm that guy. Like
that's me, man. That's me. I'm like, I don't mind friendly competition. Like if I know somebody was over there, damn, he did that 60-point game. Shit, I gotta probably get me one next week.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just me. That's just me. Like I look at the internet. I look at everything, and in the overall view of it, I look at it like he causing problems. A lot of people causing problems. Some people not so attractive to me because my personal relationships with them, but some is causing problems. And I'm just a competitor. I go compete. I go game for game with somebody. I go line for line with somebody. I just feel I'm that good, and I know I'm just peaking. But I'm really that good. I really perform at a high level. My catchphrases is at a high level. Costumes, nobody can do.
No one does the costumes.
No, you can't do it.
Can't do it.
There's no duplicate of it. Because if you duplicate, then it's like,
mm-hmm.
oh, you copying. So, I got the guys that copy me, my image, my swag, my style.
You even have a walk,
And they copying that too.
You even got a walk after a play. It's just like,
yeah,
like it's like you're in the game with these guys. Like
that's my basketball. Like this is why I get so animated, because this is my NBA.
Mm-hmm.
Like I knew my NBA clock was turned off in high school. It's not hard to like, oh, I ain't going to the pros. So, we all thought pros, NBA.
Yeah.
And then right away, I knew my clock was turned off, but God still put me around basketball. This is my NBA.
So if you weren't emceeing, like what are you doing when you're not emceeing? Like what's your hobbies like? Like what do you get the same animation, the same hunger towards? Like is there something else?
Going to support kids. My son play ball.
Okay.
So that's probably most of my time. Father, just real laid back. But even when I'm not actually physically at games, I'm still doing videos and stuff online. I'm still doing, so I'm just keeping everybody like
in tune,
keeping everybody afloat. Like, I'm here all year long. I'm just not here June to August. So.
Okay. So what's one lesson in life that you were taught, no matter who it was, that still rings in your head to this day?
Cash told me something when I was probably like the first week I started. Be thankful and don't beg.
Why? Why do you think that why does that ring in your head so often?
Because when you don't beg, more opportunities come. Like if you running a platform and I'm trying to, you got this, I could get this, you could get this, I could get this. It's like begging.
Okay.
So I learned that. Those are two of the things I learned. Cash told me, like, don't beg and be thankful.
So when it comes to, you say don't beg and be thankful, right? And you talk about all of these, how animated you get. I always wanted to ask, like, how do I put it? When it comes to groundwork and people's roles in life, basketball, no one can always be the big time guy. No one can always be in front of the lights. You find yourself in front of the lights a lot. But who are the people in your life that play the background, that keep you afloat every day? Like if you have a bad day, you either go here or you talk to this person. It's like, okay, all that other stuff don't matter.
My son.
How old is your son?
18.
18. Okay.
Chopper. Ike, when we on better terms, because we men and we deal with life and adversity. I got females that play a big part in my life, like everyday life. My best friend, my sister. I ain't got no parents. They all deceased. So
sorry to hear that, brother.
I look at them. Like they give me like all the motivation. With like, yo, you could be better. You could work on this. So my sister, best friend, Bree, another lady that helps me out in my day-to-day operation, and I got like a team. I just if I'm really cool with you, I believe in you. I believe in Spicy a lot. We always talk, we always go, and I got mentors. The mentors to me is a lot. A lot of the mentors, Cash, Ken Stevens, a lot of mentors to me.
Mm-hmm.
That's what kind of like keep me grounded, level-headed, what I need to work on, how to be better. Man.
All right.
Definitely can't forget Naya though. My manager been putting up with me through a lot of thick.
Yeah, the guys the people that manage certain goats or young legends or whatever you want to call it, they go through a lot.
But she allowed me to be. She allows me to be me. She know what events fits me. She know what events, all right, this might not be his event, and I'm fine with that. But I always tell people, it's easy. I can do everything. If I got the opportunity, I can do it. It's not hard, but that's God call. That's all God. When God say they want me to be on TV, they want me to be on NBA channels, and they want me to be on big networks, they'll call me.
Yes, sir. You've mentioned this name 3 times, Mr. Ike. I've only talked to him once as he's watched my my platform. I don't know the relationship between you guys, but I feel like there's something there that is, I wouldn't say you want to get off your chest, but more so that's something there strong. He's been in your life for however many years.
Yeah, definitely.
Could you just talk on what makes y'all so tight, but even though y'all, as you said earlier, bigger?
Ike, man, Ike is like a Kyrie type of guy. He's gonna be very vocal. He's gonna say what he feel, and it caused to hinder our personal relationship some years. But that's what men is. I never look at him like he a op, he an enemy. I just we distance ourselves when we come together. We there, like I said. So it never be like F him and nah. I'm just anytime somebody asks me, I'm like, nah, we just seeing different points right now. Our views is different, and that'll be till I'm not on this earth no more. But me and him got the real hate love relationship. It's on. It's great. It's not like a relationship. But it's Ike. I respect everything he doing. I respect what he stand for. Sometimes I don't stand for it, but I still respect it because it's coming from him. So vice versa.
So in terms of speaking life, because I've had many difficult discussions, I've had many disagreements, I've had many fights between people that I've worked with, whatever the case is. But how do you how much does it take for you to say that maybe you messed up? I'm not talking about the situation. I'm talking about as a whole. Yeah. Like when people just go through things. What does it take for as a man? Because sometimes we as men are a little bit too prideful in situations, regardless of the situation. How do you navigate personal situations where you and that person may not see eye to eye, but you still have some type of love for them? How do you navigate problems in life with people?
Sometimes it just take a conversation. Because if we going back and forth, it's probably my point of view, your point of view. So I always try to come to a common ground. Sometimes it take time. It took us we always fall out, fall in. It'd be 13, 14 months, 8 months we don't speak. But I know his love for me, and he know the love I got for him. So I kind of don't make it a big deal. I just say, yo, he's a man. We all figuring out life still. So that's just how I look at it. I'm not no bigot in. I don't look at it like, oh, well, he ain't talking to me this week. I ain't really talking to him no more. Nah, I don't get it. I don't care for that. I know the outcome it'll be bigger. Sometimes it take a time. You break up with a girl, it might take time to get back with her. Our relationship will never go nowhere because it's who I am and who he is.
All right, so let's get back to the Streetball route a little bit. What I always ask guys this question in terms of Streetball. What are the things that bother you about Streetball? that, yeah, the sport is the sport, but the politics, the optics, everything behind it, what are the things that bother you that you just, it's like, this is one thing, it always gets me, and it's like, I can't deal with that. But like, what's that one thing?
Politics.
Real, like, just a little bit.
Real.
Why politics?
Because with politics, right, you might, like, so I'm always around the kids. So it's like, you might push this one kid, but you're not pushing all the kids.
Whatever name is the...
So, like, my son is, like, he can hoop. Like, he's not, and my son don't get called for the events. So I always tell him, maybe you're not as good as you think, or you maybe not. I talk to my son like I talk while I'm doing the game. It's just real life. Like, maybe you're not that good, or maybe they just not really rocking with you. But I know the politics. The politics, some kids belong on those stages. Some kids is put on the stage. So like, if my man, the head coach, he should be putting my peoples down. It's all, everybody work with each other. It's not like for me, I'm going to go grab the best kids around. Like, that's what we did for Books of Ball Classic. We grabbed the best kids around. I was giving kids that went to Spelman spots.
I'm not laughing at the fact that you gave them spots. I'm just laughing at the school. Yes.
Yeah. Like, you hear Spelman over Lincoln. You like, okay, there's nobody in Spell, but I give those opportunities. I give to the smaller schools opposed to the bigger schools. That's just me. But just being in this business, politics has definitely got to be the one that bothers me.
Do the politics reach you in terms of places you MC? Because everyone knows where your home is that you've established, but I can see you at different places depending on the day or depending how things work out behind the scenes. Has those politics reached you where it's like people are coming to you like, okay, why are you here instead of here? Why are you here? Aren't you supposed to be over here? Because everybody wants to know what's going on, even when it got nothing to do with them.
But I tell people all the time, ChaChing is a brand. Anywhere I want to be at, I want to be at. It just so happened Dyckman is home for me. But I don't have no problem working, hosting anywhere. It's not like it's a cutoff. It's not like a cutoff like, yo, you only working with Dyckman, you can't work with nobody. They particularly want me to work inside the brand, inside the Nike Jordan brand, and all the tournaments probably was run by Nike Jordan. So I can go work at any tournament. For me, it's not a, like, I'm attached to Dyckman. I'm ChaChing. Like, this sum up that past, I probably was in the park 70%. And I was able to give, I was able to give him days where he could build his brand. Like, I'll come in there, he be doing the game, I will leave him with the game. Because I think it's bigger than me just taking his game, not allowing him to grow.
Facts. Okay.
So I'm ChaChing, I'm worldwide. When people say, yo, the host, MC, New York City, I say I'm really the best in the world. So I'm able to go anywhere around the world and still be productive.
We're back, ladies and gentlemen. We just took a quick break. Of course, we have ChaChing here. And before we went to break, you said the ChaChing brand, everything. Like, how would you describe the brand that you've built for yourself?
Gritty, hungry. I ain't take no shortcuts. No shortcuts. One step at a time. One step at a time.
One step at a time. Simple like that. So as we pave it forward and as we come down, what's your lesson that you want people to learn from you? Like, what's the feeling you want people to get when they watch you? What's the lasting impression or first impression that you want people to get from you? Like, what's driving your every day?
I mean, if I'm answering this for up and coming announcers, DJs, anybody in that, we all in the same field, I say get what you're worth. Don't settle. I used to wait hours and hours to get one game. So I think if you worth whatever you worth, you charge them. Just charge whatever you worth. That's my lesson. That's one of my lessons. And for the outside people, stay locked in. Stay locked in your craft.
Stay locked into the craft. I've been hearing that a lot lately. In terms of the youth, I want to get back to it because you're definitely big on that. So I don't want to make just go over that statement or that belief. When you see kids, let's go to the game of basketball. When you see kids doing things that are not simple, that are not to the sport, or is not, they go more flashy than fundamental. Do you think that's a good thing? Or I guess a better way to phrase the question is the evolution of the game of basketball from outside in, not outside in, but inside out to now outside in. Like, how do you gauge that? And even though you love the high school, how do you like that their direction that the game is going because of it?
I love it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I'm only good as the last particular play. Like, if it's a bad game, if the game is in the 2030s, how good is ChaChing today? And that's what I learned over the years. You gotta find the why in a bad day. So some games, teams is zoning, can't really get off. I'm like, they need to go. No, but I learned to figure it out on those bad days. But I like the pace is going. It's up tempo. The bigs is putting it on the floor. That helps. That all brand. Some of my best highlights come from bigs, the guards playing outside, and I think that's like the best for me. For right now, that this style is gonna save me 2 or 3 more extra years because of style. Remember before it was just bigs, you gotta dump it down, it's a little slower. Now everybody's playing with the ball.
And now you running up and down with the players.
So it's like I've been doing that since day one. I think that's why I said this is my NBA.
Yeah.
People see me all the time and they be like, yo, this is my NBA. This is my gold medal. This is my McDonald's game. I never played in none of that stuff. So this how I look at every event. I compare it to something.
Have you ever lost the love for this, I wouldn't say job, but this passion? Was there ever a moment where you just said, I don't know if I can keep doing this?
Yeah.
What was that moment?
Probably like right before COVID. I used to be like, this is not saying like the day-to-day work is hard, but it was like time I'm like, man, this I don't think this gonna be what I thought it was gonna be. And then some days I wake up
excited like a motherfucker.
So I'm just like hungry. Like some days, like Books and Ball Classic was like a McDonald's All-American game.
Okay.
Like if you Google footage, we had Scoochie Smith played with the Cavaliers. Whitehead played with the Knicks. Desi. We had like teen basketball players. Like every grade the game was, we got at least kid that's playing high level ball right now.
Yeah. So
when you look at those films when they 13, 14, 15, like, oh gosh, we had that much, and that's what keep me around, because I'm like, let me see I want to see what the next
guy going.
The next group of kids gonna be. I don't think I could hang around as far as like I got some friends, kids in 4th grade. I don't think I can hang around that long, but I'm trying to hang around enough so I could be able to touch enough kids. I mean, and give them that ChaChing experience, because this is experience.
So, definitely an experience. In terms of New York versus New York, I actually got to see you call that a couple of times as well. But what it brings for the youth, what New York versus what it does is it's all high school, male and female, and I think that's the spotlight you're talking about. That, like, how do you feel when you do those types of tournaments, those types of things where you see guys that you probably never seen before, but they picked out that one guy that everyone's looking at and he said, oh yeah, that's baby food today. Are those one of your better experiences, calling New York versus New York, where you just see it's not names no more? Like, there's names, but it's all about your game now.
Yeah, New York, because New York versus New York is probably the best high school event in New York City. It's better than Dyckman. It's better than, because you getting all the elite kids and all the better kids in a venue for one day. So it's like, it's tiers, and New York versus New York is probably the top tier as far as high school tournaments ran in, and probably around the East Coast, probably in the world, because you bring in all the best kids to play for that one day for 5 weeks. So,
all right. So, now I'll just give you these last couple of questions. Not really questions. These are just names. I'm gonna give you names of things and rapid fire, just the first couple words that come to your mind when you hear them.
Your rapid fires be a little different. Yeah, we got a couple people on the hot seat. They deleting the posts and stuff. No, okay, I'm ready.
look.
I'm ready. Don't flag my page, please.
Ken Stevens.
A legend.
Okay. All right. Ross Slime.
A young goat.
All right, let's go basketball now. Kedar Edwards. Mr. Mac Jordan, as he liked to call himself.
He said Mac Jordan, he said?
Yeah. On the interview that's about to drop, he calls himself
Yeah,
Mac
I think
Jordan.
I heard Mac Jordan. He always going to keep Mac in there. Mac, for me, is top tier. Because he perform at every park he performed. I have some of my best moments with Mac when he in Dyckman.
Interesting. I like that. Another guy that performs under the lights, Mr. J. Will.
Entertainer.
Okay, let's try to dig a little deeper here. Damn, I have like 3 names I want to say. Let's go with Whitehead. His name has been around in certain things, and he's doing things in the community, and people believe that he doesn't get the amount of love that he properly deserves from everyone. So, at least that's what I've been hearing. But Mr. Isaiah Whitehead.
Oh. He everything. He everything a basketball player. I can't really pinpoint one word, but he provided my platform since he was 16. So I'm always going to look at him as like upper echelon. I don't care what somebody say. He many nights he came to Dyckman. Many nights he go to Rucker. Many nights he been playing Streetball like almost his whole life. And he's running probably one of the best tournaments in New York City, probably top 3 at the moment.
Okay. Let's go with this. See, since I brought up Whitehead, I want to bring up Lance Stevenson. I feel like possibly their road stories almost mix in terms of what they've done and how they've gone about it, but of course only certain people know. So when you hear Lance Stevenson, someone that's make sure his face is there. I've interviewed him after a game, and I asked him the question. He's like, I'm like, how do you feel about NBA players or pros, period, that get to the NBA level that you still got to come back? And he said, nah, like this is regular. You got to. More of the guys got to keep coming back. So when you see a guy like Lance Stevenson, what do you think, or what do you say, or what do you feel?
I mean, I'm not too much, because he from Brooklyn, but I'm not too much hands-on Lance. Lance is like different. Like he a different part. Like from Whitehead, like I can tell you like for Lance, like he like you say, he came to Dyckman after his team lost in the semifinals with the Indiana Pacers. He still came to Dyckman the next week before the rules was cleared. So dudes like that always gonna be like legends. Like he played, it's a cutoff date when you could play in summer ball. He was playing June. He's 2 weeks removed from the semifinals in the NBA. He's back in the parks playing. So that's like, we get excited. I get excited about that. I don't really know him personally. Like I know Whitehead. I know Whitehead more. I could call Whitehead. I could talk to him all the time. But what he doing is what he's been doing the last 15 years.
Facts.
It's really not heard of. Like, here come, this is semifinals. You go on LeBron for 5-6 games, and then you turn around, come to the park.
Yo, like that.
Like that you don't do that.
You don't do that. Yeah, not everybody does that.
You're not chasing LeBron around for 5-6 games, and then turn around a week later, you come into Dyckman for opening night. Don't happen.
Don't happen. Probably only in New York City.
Only in New York City.
So these last two things. There's someone on your media team that gets a lot of love because of what she's done for the Streetball community. I don't know if you're close with her, but one of the last things I want to give you was Shay Days. How do you feel about her, or just how she does for the park and what she does behind the scenes as well? We
built our brand together. We started at Tri-State, 145th and Lenox, and she's just covering ground. She's giving people, before we had all the social media outlets, all the streaming networks, Shay was our streaming network.
I remember my first day at Gersh when I first started the Streetball stuff. She came to me and was like, yo, what are you doing? Like, how are you doing this? And I put her on, and she's like, nah, like, you're doing something different.
Yeah.
I remember that was my first day outside.
Yeah.
And she came up to me, random person. I'm looking at her like, who is this? You know what I'm saying? But then when I started doing my research, I'm like, yeah.
She does.
She been here for almost a decade.
Yeah, we build our brand together.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, if cameras don't work, Shay's gonna cover it. So you could go to Shay's story, you could see Shay, like, she's in every park, and it's a woman, it's a female, controlling ground in men tournaments and lady tournaments. That don't happen.
Yeah, I had to do my research for real.
Yeah,
nah, for real.
She's really like, when I first started at Tri-State, she probably came a year after me. We didn't get a penny. We didn't make no money. I was sharing meals with my friends. Ike, Spicy, we sharing meals. Crown Fried Chicken, we sharing meals.
Shout out to old Crown Fried
Yo,
Chicken.
like, no, that's what I'm saying. But like,
yeah,
we only could get a snack box. We only could get the diner once in a while. She been. Yes, I don't really have a word for her. She's just a hustler.
Hustler. Yeah, we could go with that one.
Yeah, we got hustler. She's a hustler.
All right, so this is where I give you your 2 minutes, your 5 minutes, your 10 minutes. If there's anything you wanted to say to the people, this is your camera right here.
Gosh.
And you can go right ahead before we get up out of here.
Cha-Ching, man, it's really that simple. You got to work on your craft, man. We've been saying it day and day. You got to work on your craft. Just work on your craft. You shouldn't be out here using other people's material. You stealing people's styles. You got to work on your craft. Like, I get texts and calls, this person doing this. Work on your craft. Got to work on your craft. People know what I get into, man. I'm always going to say I'm the best, you know, and I got a tournament I'm going to do this summer in 2023. I think people will like that one.
Okay, so he said, you heard it here first, gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen.
This the first. I really got 2 spots, but this one spot I'm coming to, just know it's in Coney Island, and he used to play with the Nets. So that's a personal one I gotta go.
ChaChing will be there.
It's a personal one I have to do to check it off my bucket list. And Zone 6 owed me. He say, I owe you a game, but I'm gonna really work the first month in Brooklyn. God willing, my schedule is.
Wait, hold up. So you telling me next summer?
Yeah, I'll be in Brooklyn.
ChaChing will be announcing Brooklyn games.
Yes. I'm not exempt.
All right.
It's not exempt.
I like that for you.
I think I earned the pay rate. I earned the pay raise, and it's time though. I think I don't come to Brooklyn enough. Like, I've been to every borough. I work every borough. I'm not exempt from no boroughs. I'm not exempt from no states. But that one is personal. So that one, like, I don't know if I could work a lot of games, but my schedule should be really open. I'm definitely going to be there at least the first weekend for sure, and a couple weekends after. And that's on Rob Slime. Rob Slime kind of made that. So I think me and Rob Slime going to be out there, like, we gonna be splitting games, really.
I'm loving what I'm hearing.
I don't really think they're ready for that. Right?
I don't think they're ready because Rod Slime on Monty's World platform, he definitely said he'll be in Coney more often.
Yeah.
And so he'll be splitting Zone 6 and Coney.
Yes. And what I like what they doing, right? Just saying Rod Slime and Whitehead, right?
Mm-hmm.
Brooklyn got the same teams.
Pretty much.
So if I don't know if they communicating, yo, what's your schedule like today?
Mm-hmm.
They pulling their games, they schedule back to help the next tournament.
Next one.
And this is what like when you got brands, when you got sneaker brands and they sponsoring your tournament, they just want you to run it. But they doing it the same.
To make sure you get your games.
You gonna get your games.
Mm-hmm.
I want your games to be lit too. So we like, if they playing here today, they're gonna be tired to go there tonight. Yo, man, I'm gonna pull my games off. You guys shake out. I'm gonna come here and help you. That's how it's supposed to be. But Rod Slime really put us in the call, put me and Whitehead, and they said, yo, what's up? Like, it's time. So it's time.
Breaking news, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, that's it. You're not gonna hear this nowhere else. I ain't even tell my manager this. This is needed. I'm gonna definitely be there opening weekend if I'm not on the road. If my bookings should be free, I'm definitely gonna be there opening weekend because he start like the first weekend in June.
Yeah, it was this summer was like June 3rd or June 4th.
And then I owe Rod Slime. See, one thing about me, like everybody that follow all these platforms, I turn up anywhere. It's not like I'm turning it off. Or he only do this, borrow it. I'm go anywhere and have the same impact. But this one is Brooklyn needed. I'm definitely coming to Brooklyn.
There goes Brooklyn. I remember. There goes Brooklyn. One of the famous calls you had when New York versus New York.
Yeah, that was one of my.
Went
crazy.
Richmond, yeah, there goes Brooklyn.
God bless, good night, man. That line is like legendary.
Facts.
Like nobody can use that line no more.
Mm-hmm.
That line, remember that's Pop Smoke's song.
That was one of the last things we saw before pandemic. Yeah.
But that song was going in.
Yeah.
We sent that song.
Skyrocket. I was in Gerst Park too.
Yeah.
Barclays Center. You know. Hey man. ChaChing, it's been a pleasure for blessing my platform.
Definitely.
It's been an honor talking to you. I hope y'all learned something today that y'all didn't know about this man. We talked about a lot. And let's catch you guys on the next one.
Oh, yeah. ChaChing.